shot on Ohio.
Yeah, I mean, Ohio's been we think pretty good to us, and there are an awful lot of people and football players there. And they're players that are familiar with the Big Ten, they're familiar with our weather and the Midwest in general, so I think that makes sense. You know, and we've dabbled in Cincinnati, not successfully, but we've dabbled there, and we really feel good certainly about BJ joining us. He's the young guy that we impressed with, and he's not unlike a lot of guys. You know, everybody at the school just loved him. You know, Brad Rogers comes to mind. I went into school last year, and his guidance counselor, the priest that's runs the school, the athletic director, everybody couldn't say enough about Brad, and that's exactly who he is with us. He's just a guy that does things the way he's supposed to do and works hard. And, you know, so it's kind of the same thing with BJ. Everybody there really just kind of fell in love with him in the school. And, he's done a lot of things, I think, to impress people, and you know, we feel good about him coming with us. Out east, you know, we've tried unsuccessfully to recruit Gilman. My oldest son went to Gilman for 2 years. We've tried over the years to get a guy out of there, and we finally were able to get Coach Bogey's son, Jim, to come. We're excited about that, and then Anthony chose to come out also. And very happy about that. It's a tremendous school, tremendous program. They've had great tradition of success, and the DeMatha thing was a little bit of a surprise to me. I think I might have been as surprised as anybody. You probably read the story, but Marcus drove out. His mom doesn't fly, so she figured she'd drive him out here, and that would kill our chances of getting him. And they drove out in August, right when practice was getting started, and drove to another Big Ten school, headed home, you know, however many hours that took, and a couple of weeks later he committed to us. And then the rest of the story is, you know, he was a good football player. We really liked him. I fell in love with the guy when I met him and his mom. You know, tremendous people. Then this year he really had a good year. It's a little bit like, you know, Hampton had a great game against Glenville. That caught my eye a couple of years back. You know, Marcus had a great game against Gilman. I forget how many he ran for. I've got a friend who scouts in the NFL for a profession. He happened to be at the game. He called me up, left me a voicemail. I said, boy, I saw that guy committed to. He's really a good player. He said, you guys will probably lose him now. And that was it. You know, a good friend of mine, my good friend. I'm not going to name him right now. But so I was in the tank on that one a little bit. But Marcus is stuck with us, and we're really excited about him.
You've talked in the past about getting your type of guys. Does this class fit that mold, and what exactly does that mean?
I think so, and I think yeah, that's why I feel pretty good about this whole year. You know what it means is you know, there's certain things that we think are important in football players, and you know, guys are gonna. Yeah, it's a tough tour duty to go to a Big Ten school and get a diploma. That's not easy in itself. To play in a program that wants to compete at a high level, nothing easy about that. And then you know, our players are very visible in our community, which I think is a great thing. But with that comes a lot of responsibility. So you know, we're looking for guys that you know, are going to welcome those three challenges. And you know, it's all projection. That's one thing about recruiting rankings, kind of like preseason rankings. It's all subjective. They're all projections, and you know, the proof's in the pudding. And we'll know a lot more here in 3-4 years. You know, and I think that'd be an interesting study. You know, go back. I know they rank classes, but you know, they ought to go back, and maybe somebody's already doing this. Look at teams when they play each other and take the cumulative you know, merits that guys have, you know, recruiting merits, and see how they all compare, and then you know, what really happens with the results on the field, because that's all that counts at the end of the day. But that's what we're looking for. You know, we've had guys that I think have been recognized that have done very well. We've had a lot of two-star guys. I talked about them last year. You know, guys like Fletcher, Sean Green, Godfrey was a two-star guy, started as a rookie in the NFL. You know, Carl Klug, I just mentioned him. So, you know, we just need guys that are going to come in here and really work hard and you know, buy into what we're trying to get accomplished.
Last question.
Tough to grab. You know, I mean, I wish I could. You know, wish we had a better chart, but that's kind of what we do.
You talk about St. Louis again. You guys have a pipeline. At least the Hazelwood part.
Yeah, that's North County up there, and you know, players talk to each other. You know, one thing I noticed here in the '80s, you know, we had a lot of players from New Jersey. Bernie White was a tremendous recruiter throughout his entire career, and I remember asking Bernie about that. And you know, he told me, and this was a young age, but he said, you know, players sell players, and I really think that there's a lot of truth in that. The fact that guys came out here and had a good experience, a good quality experience in all the areas I just talked about, you know, that's important. And you know, my son sees Andre Tippett frequently Andre comes down every Monday, down to his office every Monday and gives him the Hawkeye, go Hawks, one of those shots. So, when a guy like Andre Tippett, who comes from Behringer High School in Newark, New Jersey, he probably wondered, where the heck am I, when he got here in 1980. Yet now, 30 years later, this is one of the great experiences of his lifetime, and that's what you're looking for. So, that stuff's all good, and that's a neat thing. So if you can get people to have a good experience, I think that certainly helps you regionally in a recruiting area. No question about that. Because players, there's a lot of recruit talk that goes out there, but I think players ultimately believe players more than they believe anybody, and that's a good source of information.